His Holiness Thích Chi Doãn, due to his engagement of the Sangha, Separate Sangha Council meeting, he could not be here to welcome you. So may I introduce myself to you. I'm Most Honorable Thích Nhật Từ, Standing Vice Rector of PWS University, and these are the staffs of our university. So for the last 3 decades, we are very thankful for Sri Lankan contribution to educating monastic members of Vietnam Sangha. And at present, we do have roughly 80 monks and nuns pursuing their higher study in your country.
Yes.
And we also got the chance to cooperate with some Sri Lankan institutions in terms of Buddhist studies.
Yes.
So I do hope that this meeting today will help us to strengthen our mutual relationship in terms of educational exchange. And we would like to thank for your coming, your good views, and we do hope that this will be a good chance for Vietnamese Sangha as well as the Sri Lankan Sanghas. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Honorable Sir. And, thank you very much for meeting me this morning as new ambassador of Sri Lanka. As you know, Vietnam and Sri Lanka are historical friends, and we are friends for centuries. But more than that, I think what I focus mainly on increasing people-to-people contacts. That is, I think, in one area we should focus, because not many Vietnamese know about Sri Lanka, and also young Sri Lankans, they don't know much about Vietnam. Older Sri Lankans, they know Vietnam very well. So, as Honorable Sir said, we see increasing number of Vietnamese monks and nuns going to Sri Lanka to study Buddhism. Government of Sri Lanka is always ready to help, and whatever assistance that we can extend to Vietnamese monks and nuns to study Buddhism, Pali language, or in any other area of interest in Sri Lanka that Sri Lanka can offer, we are ready to help. And I was asked by my government to convey that message. Whatever request you make to us, and we will consider very positively and help Vietnam especially in the religious studies. I see increase in number of visa letters coming to our office from monks and nuns from various institutions to go to Sri Lanka to study Buddhism at University of Kelaniya, and also Buddhist and Pali University, and some other independent institutions in Sri Lanka. So that is a very good sign when we look at the relationship. And I also want to thank Honorable Sir that your contribution to conduct UN Vesak Day in Vietnam for 3 times now, and Sri Lanka takes a lot of pride in that, because our Foreign Minister in 1999 took the initiative to get UN to recognize Vesak Day as an international day of recognition. He was unfortunately assassinated in 2005, Mr. Khadir Ghana. He came to Vietnam in 1998 also. And so we are very happy that UN tradition now is continuing, and also Vietnam is the only country that of course assisted UN to hold the event 3 times. 2009, 14 and 19.
2008.
14,
19.
Yes, 19. And I'm very happy that big Sri Lankan delegation participated that. And this year also a very important year for two countries, Sri Lanka and Vietnam. We established our diplomatic relations in 1970, so 21st of July. So this year is the 50th anniversary of formal diplomatic relations, but we had our relations much earlier than that. So that we want to have some functions to recognize that day. Unfortunately, at the moment, because of the coronavirus situation, no plans are now yet confirmed. But we are planning to have a religious event in Baidin Pagoda in Nimbin, and we have written to them, and I met Venerable Sirs there in last year. And
Most devoted and you?
yes, yes. And I think we will be able to conduct that event, and once it is finalized, we will officially invite you, Venerable Sir, to the event. So I'm very happy to be here as a ambassador of a friendly country, and I want to see this religious relationship between Vietnam and Sri Lanka to grow. And another area that we think of further developing is to get Vietnamese nationals, Vietnamese people, if they want to visit Buddhist sites in Sri Lanka, like Kandy, Nuwara, Sri Lanka has a lot of historical Buddhist sites, and they can visit. But there are no direct flights between Vietnam and Sri Lanka. But traveling is not difficult through Singapore or Thailand or Malaysia. So that if Venerable Sir can tell Vietnamese people if they want to visit Sri Lanka, there are a lot of Buddhist religious institutions, temples, and also universities, academic institutions they can visit. That part is also we consider as an important part of our relationship. And I also see that a lot of Vietnamese people visit Lumbini and India, Bodh Gaya also, Bodh Gaya. And that is also a very good sign. I think Vietjet has started flights to India. I think this year also they are in May, month of May, they are starting a few more flights to India. That's a very good sign. And I need Venerable Sir's cooperation in my activities in Vietnam, and Vietnam government has been very helpful, and we closely cooperate with Quan Su Pagoda in the city in Hanoi, and also Baidin and other religious institutions. And we are very happy to see that that is a very good, cordial relationship. And I'm very happy that when we request in the government, then we don't see any difficulty in organizing religious events and other Buddhist cultural activities. So we are planning this activity during Vesak in May in Baidin. I will officially inform once the date is finalized. So please let me know what I can do and what Sri Lanka can do to promote this relationship. And my government is very happy to help because we can help in this area. And we have a very well organized system of religious education in Sri Lanka. So please let me know whatever assistance Venerable Sir needs from us, and also the university or any other Buddhist or religious institution in Vietnam.
Thank you, sir. After listening your explanation about history of mutual relationship between the two countries, we are very happy, and I would like to propose several cooperations between Vietnam Buddhist Sangha and Sri Lankan Sangha, as well as the diplomatic relationship between the two countries. Firstly, in terms of the separation of the golden anniversary of 50 years relationship between the two countries, I would propose to co-host the international conference on the Buddhism, Sri Lankan Buddhism and Vietnamese Buddhism, mutual cultural relationship. Since South Vietnam received the Theravada tradition from Sri Lanka for the last 85 years, and the Sri Lankan Theravada tradition has contributed a lot to development of Theravada Buddhism in South Vietnam. So I think if we could do the conference to mark this contribution, I think it's very good. And in 2016, welcoming His Excellency Prime Minister of India, Mr. Modi, I was invited by the Ambassador of India to Vietnam, as well as Consul General of India in Ho Chi Minh City, to co-organize the welcoming of his journey to Vietnam. So at that time, we suggested the government of Vietnam, as well as the Ambassador of India, to have a big welcome to Quán Sứ Pagoda.
Yes.
At that time, there was about nearly 1,000 monks and nuns, including senior leaders of the Sangha, to welcome him. And they have very good speech on the relationship between the two countries. So in this regard, I propose that on 21st of July, on the occasion of 50 years anniversary of the two countries' relationship, that we can invite the President or Prime Minister of India to come to Vietnam. Is it possible?
President of India.
President of Sri Lanka, very sorry.
To be very honest, I don't think
It's possible.
It's not possible at the moment, because we are going to have parliamentary election.
I see.
in
After May.
April.
April.
But it is a little short time period.
Is it possible to invite Deputy Prime Minister?
We don't have a deputy.
I see.
But we will be able to invite Minister of Buddhasana.
Yeah, that's okay. And you yourself.
Yes, and we can do that. Venerable said now, celebration will start from the anniversary is coming up on 21st of July.
Yes.
So we have 1 year from 21st of July this year to 20th July next year.
Yes.
So 1 whole year from this year to next year. So we can organize an event in between that period.
And I think it's better to get started
On the same
in
day.
July
Okay.
to mark the first event.
Okay.
So the venue for the celebration can be either in Quán Sứ Temple,
Okay.
if we do within 1,200 people.
Right.
And if we want to have a bigger celebration, that is can be done at Tam Chuk Temple or Bai Đức Temple.
Yes.
So Bai Đức Temple is a little bit far,
Little bit
about 120 kilometers from Hanoi, and Tam Chuk Temple only 60 kilometers from
60
Hanoi.
kilometers, yes.
And that was also the venue for the restoration last year.
Yes.
So we can work together
Yes.
in this regard, so that we can
Yes.
organize well.
Yes.
And in order to that, we would like to request you to ask maybe Bali Buddhist Study Institute,
Yeah.
which belong to Kalenaya University,
Yes.
to co-host, co-organize the conference with
Yes.
Vietnam Buddhist University.
Yes.
And if you can help us in this regard, that is very good to what is possible.
Yeah.
And secondly, in terms of educational exchange, I think for the last 4 years, I myself, as assigned by the Sangha, we went to Sri Lanka to visit the Ministry of Buddhasana, as well as the 3 institutions of Sri Lanka, which have the Buddhist Studies Department. So we try our best to sign MOU for the educational exchange, but in fact we got only one, one that is in Kandy, in Kandy. And at present I'm discussing with the director of Bali Buddhist Study Institute in Colombo for the MOU. So hopefully that can be done maybe in this coming April. So if we can get your support, then the MOU signing with some other Buddhist institutions in Sri Lanka may be possible and easier for us.
When can I get more information? I couldn't trace that information in our office, and we don't have the information about this proposed MOUs. And,
yes, because nobody informed me about that. Yes.
Okay.
So I myself went to Sri Lanka on behalf of our Sangha as well as on behalf of our university. And at the time we got support from the Ministry of Bodhisattva.
So is it possible for the person to write to me, send me, email me all the details?
Yeah, I will send all the details
Yes.
for your
Please.
kind reference
Yes.
and support.
Yeah.
At present in Vietnam we have 4 Buddhist universities. This is the biggest. This small campus is the old one. The new campus is about 35 kilometers from here.
Right.
So we at present have 2,500 students pursuing their BA, MA, and PhD Buddhist studies, as well as some other departments. So I can arrange the rector, deputy rector in charge of economic affairs of Huế Buddhist University, Hanoi Buddhist University, and Cần Thơ Buddhist Economy.
Right.
As well as we also have 9 Buddhist schools, 9 Buddhist schools for bachelor, and 35 Buddhist schools for young monks and nuns in Vietnam. So if we can work in this regard together, then more Buddhist monks and nuns may get their interest to pursue their higher study in your country.
Yes. Yeah. That's a very good suggestion, and I think we can work on that.
Yes.
And
And for doing that, I must suggest that could you kindly, I will send you the addresses of
Yes.
all the institutions of
Yes.
Buddhist studies in Vietnam, that you can send the letter inviting all of them to come together, listen to your talks, and we can sign MOU to some extent, or maybe some rough idea about the future MOU signing.
Yes.
Then I think the more students may get their interest in your country.
Yes. Yeah. We initiate that.
Yes. And thirdly, in terms of holy Buddhist places in your country, in 2016, as well as in 2019, I took the group of 120 persons to visit all the Buddhist sites in your country. I think that is a wonderful holy land, which you cannot find in any other countries. So if we can work together, then more Buddhist, Vietnamese Buddhist visitors may come to Sri Lanka for their pilgrimage tour. So in Vietnam, every year I take the group of 120 to 150 persons, 2 times to India and Nepal. So the interest of being visit to India increase. You see day by day to India. So if we can plan very good target, then the numbers of tourists, pilgrimage tourists will come to your country.
That's a very good suggestion. I think we have not looked at it in the way you have explained, Professor. I think that is one problem. And please help me to meet with all these Buddhist institutions, and we can meet in Hanoi or wherever you can arrange.
I think it's better to meet in Ho Chi Minh City,
Okay, that's good. Yes.
and you just arrange your time to come.
Yes, I will.
So in Ho Chi Minh City, we have the Sangha office.
Okay. Yeah.
Either in Quang Sư Temple or in the Sangha office in Ho Chi Minh City.
Anywhere.
Yeah, then we can invite in every rector and principals of Buddhist institutions in Vietnam
Yes.
together.
Yeah. I can come here. It's not a problem.
And by the way, we can discuss about the pilgrimage tour for your country.
Yes.
See, for the last 7 years, based on the Look East policy of Prime Minister of India,
Yes.
the ambassador of India to Vietnam has organized several meetings with Vietnamese Sanghas.
Yeah.
So in those meetings, the ambassador has very intention inviting all the Buddhist leaders and Buddhist communities to India for pilgrimage tour.
Yeah.
And apart from those meetings, they also organize special meeting in India, in New Delhi.
Yeah.
So after the meeting, they arranged and took all the Buddhist leaders around the world come to the Bodh
Yes.
Salat
Yes.
for you see the chanting and conferences. So do that. A lot of Buddhist leaders this is show their interest
Yes.
to come after that and ask their followers to come to India.
Correct.
So may suggest that you can have that as your reference.
I think Sri Lanka can arrange that.
Yes.
We should do that. And
Yes, after this is one meeting with
Yes.
your government,
Yeah.
inviting all the Buddhist leaders around the world.
Yes.
And for doing that, I can help you in sending to you the list of all Buddhist organizations around the world. In 2008, I was the person who proposed our government to be the host of UN Vesak celebration in Vietnam. And I was appointed by the Prime Minister of Vietnam to be the General Secretary of the Vesak celebration in that year. And for 2014, 2019, I was the Deputy General Secretary of that event. So in Thailand in 2006, 2007, I also was the Deputy General Secretary of that organization. So the list of all Buddhist organizations around the world I have in my hand.
Yes.
And when organizing in Vietnam, we get more input. At present, we have nearly 112 countries and territory to participate in Vesak in Vietnam. For Thailand, they have the list of 81 countries only. So by sending to you, then you can do the selective Buddhist leaders, then converting them to Sri Lanka,
Yes.
and then introducing them about the holy places in your country. I think then after that meeting with the Buddhist leaders around the world in your country, more people can show the interest to come.
Yes. Thank you very much, Rabbi sir, for that very good idea. And what we as officials see is that we have some issues with our systems in our country, and the Indian experience, we know about the Indian experience, and
Yes.
Indian ambassador shared that with me also. And they have a very good cultural center now in Hanoi, and they promote culture a lot. And in Sri Lanka, we have everything, but we don't promote.
Yes.
And we look at only few areas, and maybe tea, maybe beaches, or maybe food. But we have a very rich traditions, not only Buddhism, Hindu, and even Islam or Christianity. If you look at Sri Lankan Muslim community, is a very different Muslim community, and Sri Lankan Hindu Tamil community is very different from Indian Hindu community. And we have been living together for 2,500 years in Sri Lanka, so we have a lot to promote in culture. But we don't do that well, I have to admit it. And this is a very, very good idea, and that especially to invite a congregation of Buddhist Sangha from here to Sri Lanka is not a difficult thing for us. And I will immediately start working on it, and once Venerable Sir provides me with details,
Yes.
I will start again. And we have to do it soon, very soon.
Could you kindly give the cell phone and email of
Yeah,
your
I will.
assistant
Yes.
and yourself also, so that
Yes.
we keep in contact.
Yes.
And after this meeting, then we can send you the
Yes.
proposals
Yes.
how to separate
Yes.
the relationship between 70 years of relationship between the two countries.
Yes. Yes.
So the venue selected by you is Bai Din or Tam Chuk.
Yeah. We have to check.
Have you been in Tam Chuk temple so far?
Not yet.
That's wonderful.
Yes.
It's better place.
Yeah, I was to go there in December, then I was asked to come to Colombo, and
I see.
entire month I was in Colombo.
You see two temples
Yes.
were sponsored by one Buddhist devotee, Mr. Sun Ju.
Yes.
And the abbot of two temple
Yeah.
is the same person, Most Venerable Thich
Yeah, I met him
So-
a few times, and
So then there will be the problems. It depends on your selection of the
Yes.
venue
Yes.
to celebrate
Yes.
the event.
yes. Yeah.
And for doing that, we can make the working team together.
Yes.
The team consists of assistant of your embassy in Hanoi and our university, Buddhist Sanghas in Hanoi, and Most Venerable Thich Thanh Nhieu. Then we can work together. That's
Yes.
better.
Yeah. We will start working on it,
Yes.
and I will meet him when I get back to Hanoi. I met him in February on the Independence Day, and unfortunately in Hanoi, time to time, this coronavirus
Yes.
is coming up. Last week also, there were few patients, and now it's again going down.
Yeah, no, it's okay. It's
It's
under
okay.
control. Nobody died of
Yes,
COVID-19
And people
in
will
Vietnam.
get overexcited sometimes,
Yes.
and media is also
due to media.
media.
Less of you see
Yeah. Yes.
being afraid of.
Yes, that's right. Yes. I understand that. And
So when you meet with Most Venerable Thich Thanh Nhieu, please inform him about three aspects of separation. One is diplomatic
yes.
aspect,
Yeah.
and the other is educational conference
Yeah.
or economic conference,
Yeah.
and the third is cultural performance.
Yeah.
So these three together should be organized well
Yeah.
in order to make the celebration is a successful event.
Yes. Yes.
And for the economic conference, I suggest that your embassy
Yeah.
organize with our university and Karanaya University
Yes.
in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
So three working together for the conference.
Okay.
And for the cultural event, could you kindly ask the Ministry of Culture to send their cultural troop to Vietnam for this
Vietnam.
celebration?
Yes.
And in Vietnam we can arrange.
Right.
So Mr. Sun Chu, the main sponsor of Tam Chuk and Bai Din Temple, can sponsor for the cultural events
Yes.
from the Vietnamese side.
Yes. Yes. I met him when I went to Bali. Yeah. I think I have written to him about Vesak event. He started a very good.
So when you meet with the Most Venerable Thich Thanh Nhieu, please tell him about these three things together. Then we can work one by one.
Yeah, I will try to meet him next week.
Is it possible to fit the day, 21st of July, for the event?
I will try my best to
Yes.
fix it, and
Yes.
because Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Vietnam, we have not yet discussed about our programs.
I see.
Yeah, and they are very busy with ASEAN and other meetings. So, when I met the foreign minister last week, he told that they are mainly focusing not this year, some events in next year. And Vietnam leaders going to Sri Lanka.
I think in this regard, if the Ministry of Foreign Affairs is busy with their schedules, then we can discuss with the Ministry of Home Affairs.
Home Affairs.
Because in Vietnam, the National Council for Religious Affairs belongs to Home Affairs.
Yeah.
So vessel separations is separated under the control of the Home Affairs Ministry
That
in
is
Vietnam.
good,
So it's better to you send the letter of proposal to the Home Affairs as well as National Council for Religious Affairs. So next week on your meeting, that you can ask these three together.
Yeah.
Can meet you in either in National Council for Religious Religious Affairs or maybe Home Affairs Ministry. Instead of in Quang Sư Temple, it's better to meet in Home Affairs Ministry.
Yes.
Very faster.
Yes. Yeah, that's I have the idea now. Yes.
The new campus of our university is located 35 kilometers from here. And since 2016,
16.
we have all the hostel facility for free to 1,200 monks and nuns together. And for the student free, we also sponsored it for them. So totally free for 2,500 students for the student free. And for the hostel facility, we sponsor for 1,250 monks and nuns at present for free.
That's a very big task.
Yes, very difficult task.
Very difficult task.
Yes.
Free education and free accommodation is a difficult thing, very challenging.
Yes, we try our best.
How do you organize it?
We ask the sponsors to help us.
Yeah, like in
So-
Sri Lanka.
Yes. We don't get any financial art from the government.
In Sri Lanka, also the
Yes.
same. Yeah.
So here very difficult to get financial support from the government.
Yes.
We do ourselves.
Yes.
And the last resort, 2019 as well as 2014, we could not get any financial support from the government.
No, no, no.
For 2008, we got half financial support from government, half we ourselves.
That's big. It's very big. When it's coming from all over the world, and that is very big expenditure.
Could I have your name card?
Yes.
And by the way, could you assign anyone from your embassy contact with us for this implementation?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm very sorry today I couldn't remember to carry my name
No
card.
problem,
Then
no
I will
problem.
contact you by your email.
Yes, please.
This is your own email.
Yes.
The second one.
Second one.
Then I
Yeah.
will send both.
Yes.
Okay.
Both. Yes. Yeah.
Nếu con nhớ hết mấy cái điều này đó không?
Yeah. This is both emails.
Yes.
I can check and my staff
Yeah,
also
thank you.
check. Yeah, we can do that.
For the last 2 months, I was discussing with the director of Bali Buddhist Institute in Colombo to requesting the help from them, arranging our Sangha visit to Sri Lanka. And they informed us that in order to meet the president of Sri Lanka, then that can be done after 15th of May, after the elections.
It's 25th of April. Yeah.
He asked us to postpone after 15th of May.
Yes. That is
Because,
good. Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
So in this regard, could you kindly help us
Yes, I
to
will.
arrange the senior leader of our Sangha
Yeah.
visiting to Sri Lanka,
Sure.
meeting with the president and prime minister of Sri Lanka, And
Yeah.
after that, we also have intention to meet the Sangha leaders of Sri Lanka.
Yes, and that will be a very good opportunity to
Yes.
discuss this event
Yes,
also.
yes, yes.
I will strongly recommend it, and I am very confident President Rajapaksa,
Yes,
and he is the Prime Minister now. His younger brother is the President.
yes.
So two brothers are holding the two high
You
offices.
see, in my proposal sent to them,
Yeah.
that our proposed tentative meeting will be a visit will be in April. So he asked us to postpone after 15th of May due to the elections.
Yes.
And cabinet, you see, affairs
Yeah.
very busy after elections. So at present in our Sangha we have 57 monks and nuns as members. And in terms of monastery and temple, we have 18,663 official temples. Apart from these temples, we do have also 5,500 temples waiting for the approval of the government to be the official temple. So our Sangha is some sort of umbrella Sangha,
Yes.
consisting of Theravada Buddhism, Mahayana Buddhism, and some local
Yes.
Buddhist schools also. So I think if you could help us in this visit, then all the senior leaders of our Sangha will be available in Sangha in Sri Lanka.
Venerable sir,
In
please
May.
share that information very quickly with me.
Yes.
I will write. I'm going to Hanoi in Thursday evening, and I can write straight away next week.
Yes.
And I will strongly recommend the meeting, and I'm sure I can assure you that they will meet.
We are very thankful for
They will
your
meet.
kindness.
Yeah, they will meet. President
Several times in the past, we contact several Sangha members in Sri Lanka
Yeah.
to help us in arranging the meeting with the Sangha leaders of Sri Lanka as well as the
Right.
political leaders of Sri Lanka, what we felt.
Okay.
And now your comment is a big help for us in
Yeah,
this
we can-
arrangement.
Yes, because this I know President Rajapaksa, now
Yes.
Prime Minister, he's a very strong supporter of Buddhism and Mahasangha of Sri
Yes.
Lanka, and his brother is also the same. But they are very strong Buddhists, both of them.
Yes.
And President is also a vegetarian and strong follower of Buddhism.
See, if you could kindly help us in the arrangement,
Yeah.
fixing the time of our visit, then I can invite maybe 100 or 150 devotees to come along with the Sangha leaders
Right.
to come to the Sri Lanka.
Right.
Maybe in May or in June, it depends on your convenience.
Yes.
Yes.
We will plan it for May-June period.
Yes.
Then will be easy. When we have election on 25th April, we
Yes.
will have the cabinet by 1st of May.
Yes.
The cabinet, and they will start working
Yes.
official functions and all that. And not a big problem in Sri
I
Lanka
see.
for that.
With your kind help, there
Yeah.
will be no problem.
We should do that.
Yes.
And I'm very thankful, and I really appreciate, and it is coming from you, Honorable Sir.
Yeah, thank you.
So this is one area that I'm looking at, because when we look at trade and investment between Vietnam and Sri Lanka, it's very low, only $300 million.
Only 300 million.
Yeah, only 300. We can do a lot, but both countries are doing the same things.
Yes.
That is the problem. We compete with each other.
Yes.
And so we have to look at other areas. So education, culture, religion, they are very good areas.
I think this we can organize one economic meeting
Yes.
in Vietnam, inviting the rector of some universities in Ho Chi Minh City. Then more students of Vietnam may get their interest in pursuing their study in your country. We
Yes.
should organize together.
We offer scholarships also to Vietnam students, but not many are going from. Not a single one has taken.
Really?
Yes.
Maybe the criteria of selection is very high.
Yeah.
Last year we received one letter In that letter, it's stated very clearly that the eligibility is TOEFL 550 above.
Yes.
Then a lot of Sangha members could not qualify for that qualification. So if you can lower down a little bit, because since you know that Vietnam is not the English-speaking country, you know, to get more Vietnamese monks and nuns to come to Sri Lanka, then the standard of qualification will be a little bit lower compared to the other English-speaking countries.
Yeah, I will suggest this thing also
Yes.
to our university commission. They set the standards. University Grants Commission, we have a central body controlling all
Yes.
universities. And I will
The
suggest this thing.
UGC of India
Yeah.
have the policy. That policy is easier compared to Sri Lanka.
What is their policy?
Their policy is very easy. They give, you see, at least 100 scholarships to Vietnam every year,
Yeah.
to every students who are showing their interest. So they have only one interview,
Only one interview.
one interview at embassy, in the embassy. So those who qualify for interview, then eligible for their higher study in India.
In India.
And
Buddhist
for-
studies or any-
Buddhist studies and any other subjects.
Right.
So the standard of eligibility is lower.
Right.
This year, the Indian embassy helped us to give 20 scholarships,
Right.
and last year 80 scholarships to the Sangha and
Right.
Buddhist University of Vietnam.
Right.
So we organized the
Last year.
examinations.
Okay.
We organize examinations, and those who qualify the examination, we send to the embassy or Concerned General of India for the interview.
Right.
So all of them are qualified
Yeah.
in
Right.
those interviews so far.
Right.
So the standard is a little bit easy.
Easy and simple.
Yeah, simple.
Simple
But
procedure.
for your Sri Lankan, the standard is very high,
Yeah.
very high.
Yeah.
So people not qualify for that.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And those who have their own money, they would like to go to the foreign countries, like Western country,
Yes.
to their study.
This year, how many Indian scholarships?
I have 28.
20.
Just recently, before the New Year of Vietnam.
Right. Right.
Only Vietnam Buddhist University, they give 28 scholarships.
Right.
Last year, 18.
18.
Yes. And for the last 20 years,
Yeah.
they give scholarships to our university students.
Last how many years?
For the last 20 years,
20 years.
they have the policies. And when Prime Minister Modi came to Vietnam, that commitment is stronger
Yes. Yes.
as the policy, Look
Yeah.
East policy.
Yes, and he has a very different policy.
Yes, very good
especially
policy.
Very good policy
Yes.
on culture, religion,
Yes.
and his Look East Asia policy. And he's establishing Swami Vivekananda Cultural Center.
Yes, we work together with that foundation.
Yeah.
So every year, the ambassador of India in Vietnam co-organize the conference with us.
Right.
So every year we co-organize the conference in Ho Chi Minh City.
We should also
We should do the same.
Same.
Yeah, we should do the same.
If Honorable Sir can propose us a format and what we can
I will send you the proposal.
proposal, please.
Yes.
Yeah, we can do it.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm very confident we can do
Yes.
it.
With your kind help and support, I
Yeah.
think everything is possible.
Because we have not started it. Once
Yes.
somebody starts it, it goes.
Yes.
And so Sangha from Sri Lanka can come here. and
Yes.
We can do it in both ways. 1 year we do it here.
In Vietnam,
One year
yeah,
we
that
do
is
it
very
here.
good. Yes.
Yeah, we can even sign a paper on that with Sri Lankan Buddha Sasana Ministry or government.
Yes, it's very good idea.
Yeah, it's a very good idea. And,
And you are the first ambassador of Sri Lanka in Vietnam. Has very good, you see, ideas for
I-
cooperation?
I try my best always. Because if you started something today, you
Yes.
may not be able to achieve it in your term here, 3 years.
That's true, yeah.
But somebody can finish it in 5 years, 10 years, maybe, and then it goes on. And
For the last 10 years, the former ambassador of Sri Lanka came to our university many times, and we also discussed it, but no follow up.
the problem is
Yes.
not their problem basically.
Yes,
In Sri Lanka, you know Sri Lanka very well.
yes,
We have sometimes the best form of government, sometimes the worst form of government
I see.
because of elections.
I see.
Then we change our governments in every 5 years.
I
This
see.
year, another government this term.
Yeah,
then
maybe-
in
maybe
5
the
years,
case.
another government come. Then
Yes.
when they come, they say, no, this is not good and our policy is different. And then when the other government come, they say, very good idea, we will do this. When they start doing that, their term is over.
Yeah, I
So
see.
ambassador here writes always and contact them, call them. That is the difficulty.
Yes.
India, the same system, but their institutions are very strong. Though their prime minister is different, whether they are coming from BJP or Congress, but their
The same policy.
same. The UGC will not change their policy because Narendra Modi became the prime minister. But in our country, they will
I see, I see.
So sorry to say this as ambassador, but I have
You
no
see,
choice.
in 2014 and 2019, I was the general editor of the publishing of Vesak books,
Yeah.
as well as the coordinator of the conference. Then I give very good quota for Sri Lanka. So last year, I gave more than 100 seats for Sri Lankan scholars to participate in Vesak in Vietnam.
Yes.
So because a lot of potentials from academic scholars from Sri Lanka.
Yes.
So that's why we give a lot of good chance for them to come to Vietnam for their contributions.
Yes.
So in this regard, if we can sign MOU with the Ministry of Buddha Sasana through your kind hands, then I think the relationship between your country and ours done very good.
Yes,
in
yes.
the near future.
Yes, definitely.
Yes.
If Honorable Sir can share with me the way Indian
Yes.
conference, how it is conducted,
Yes.
and the elements, and then we can.
You see, the ambassador of India just reside over the opening session of the conference.
Right.
Then after the opening session, he took a leave. So basically, all the scholars remain in the conference hall for
Yes.
for the conference, and every conference they contribute the financial support, roughly about 2,000 or 3,000 US dollar. The rest will be bear by us.
Right.
So that is the way to show the commitment and interest working together. So in Vietnam, you see, whenever we have the cult organizing the conference together, basically I myself to be the main sponsor for the event, and the University of Social Sciences in Ho Chi Minh City, the venue to be selected for this cooperation, basically to give only 900 US dollar for the conference, and the rest will be by me. So all the finance, including the publication of the book, then will be done very fast. After the conference, maybe 1 or 2 days, sometime before the conference, we already finishing the book publication. So by this regard, then we can do the same.
Yes,
we
yes, we can do the same.
Yeah, we do the same.
We share that information.
Yes.
Yeah. Because there is a strong support for these activities now in Sri Lanka with President Rajapaksa's support.
Do you have any Sri Lankan commission in Ho Chi Minh City?
Sri Lankan?
commission?
No,
Commissioner, no.
no, we don't.
You don't have.
We don't have.
Only in Hanoi.
Only in Hanoi.
Yes.
We have honorary consul here, Kevin Pereira.
Already have.
Honorary,
Very
honorary
good.
consul.
Then the Consul General in Ho Chi Minh City can work with us together.
Yes.
That can report to you.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. But he's not here these days. He has gone to Bangkok,
I see.
but he's based here.
That is very easy.
Yes.
So you see, for the last 10 years, the ambassador of India presided over the meeting for one time only. At that time, there was also the Consul General of India, and then inviting leaders of the Sangha as well as our university working together. And after that, the Consul General of India worked with us, following all the things that been signed together. So maybe this afternoon we will send you the proposals,
Please.
mentioning about maybe 4 events
Yeah.
can work together for
Yeah.
enhancing the relationship. And I do hope that you can help us in the month of the visit with your president,
Yes.
maybe in May or
Yeah.
in June. It
Yes.
depends on your.
Yeah, I'm very confident we can do that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yes, they are not traveling in that period as far as we know, I know. So they are in Sri Lanka. That can be arranged. Yeah. Because we have a strong vision by the new president. And he meets people. So that's not a big problem.
Thank you.
Yeah. I'm very confident about it.
So please, now tea is very good.
No, it's okay. Yes, this is very nice green tea.
Yeah, thank you.
I like Vietnam green tea.
Thank you. This is cold. This is the hot one.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. Cô có ghi chú hết cái điều đó.
This is the main institution.
This is the on campus. So this on campus started in 1964, and the new campus just completed in 2016. Since that is the private Buddhist institution, we could not get any financial support from the government, and that's why it's very slow in terms of constructions.
Are there any records of Bhikkhu Narada's visit to Vietnam?
Narada.
Narada Theravada's visits in early part of last century.
He came to Vietnam nearly 5 or 6 decades.
Yeah.
And in Vietnam, his contribution basically was Dhamma talks in Saigon and Baripunta province, and he also met the new Theravada Buddhism in Vietnam. Basically, Theravada Buddhism in Vietnam was from Cambodia. And since after his coming to Vietnam, so Vietnamese Theravada has been available. And at present we do have about 120 Buddhist temples which belongs to Vietnamese Theravada Buddhism. And that Theravada Buddhism was formed by Venerable Narada. So in Vietnam we honor him very much. And his book, the Buddha and his teachings were translated in Vietnamese. So my temple has been reprinted last editions many times for helping the people to understand the Theravada Buddhism in general. So we can work together with Vietnamese Theravada Buddhism for the relationship between Sri Lankan and Vietnamese Sanghas. And in our university, we also have one vice rector. He is Most Venerable Thích Bủ Chánh, belonging to Vietnamese Theravada Buddhism, with affiliated with Most Venerable Narada. Today he's not available here due to the COVID-19.
Why?
Because on 6th of March, he was on the flight.
From London to
Not from London. The person from London to Vietnam
yes.
got positive, and that positive sitting with the others, and that others sitting with Most Venerable Thích Bủ Chánh on 6th of March. So at present, today, he would like to come to welcome you, but he have to be isolated himself for the safety of himself and others.
Yes. No, that is a very
Yes.
good thing, and
Yes.
that, it should be
Yes.
done. And, please convey my very warm
Yeah,
regards
thank you.
and also
I think
respects
there
to
would be
him.
no problem for him.
No, I don't.
Yes, yes.
Yes. Because this lady in Hanoi, when she went to Hanoi, she stayed very close to our area, Teho,
I see.
that district,
Yeah.
Bading, and that's about 800 meters.
Only
from-
800 meters.
Yeah. I don't take it very seriously.
In Vietnam, we call her as the Basin 17.
Right.
Basin 17, and the Basin 21 is more dangerous. He's the Mr. Yung, and now he's negative.
He's negative.
Negative,
Yes.
luckily. Otherwise, the virus may be spread very fast in Vietnam.
Yes. Yes. Like in Iran.
Yeah, that's like Iran.
President's advisor died.
For the last few days, he was contacted by, you see, more than 500 persons, including Vietnamese cabinet
Yes. Entire
and
country.
Prime Minister.
Yes.
Luckily, he was negative.
Negative. Yes. Now the entire Italy is locked down.
Yeah,
country.
lockdown. In
Yeah.
Saigon is very okay.
Very okay. Yeah. In fact, I like Saigon a lot.
Yeah.
My third time here, and second time.
Yes, thank you.
It's very lively. And
So when I proposed the conference on Sri Lankan and Vietnamese Buddhism in Vietnam, I mean to say about the contribution of Most Venerable Narada. In 2006, when I first came to Sri Lanka, I made a visit to Narada's temple.
Temple, yeah, not the
So,
center. Also.
yes.
That his legacy goes on. It is
His
continued.
legacy in Vietnam is very strong.
Yeah. In Sri Lanka also, it's very, very.
At least 120 temples
Yeah, that's big.
was contributed after his coming to Vietnam.
He's regarded as, I think, one of the best Buddhist scholars of recent
Yes,
Sri
that's
Lanka.
true, that's true.
Yeah. And, he was very passionate, and there were 3-4 other Buddhist monks like him, and they traveled all over the
So
world.
maybe in the coming conference, there should be one workshop on the legacy of
Yes.
Most Venerable Narada in Vietnam.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. That should be one element of
Yes,
the,
yes.
of the conference. Yes.
So this afternoon, I may send you the draft
Please.
of proposal, and apart from that draft, maybe after 1 or 2 days, let me think of the title of the conference,
Yeah.
as well as the sub-teams, the main team and sub-team of the conference. Then I will send you another letter.
Yes. And please also send me whenever the details of that, where you have not yet successful in Sri Lanka on MOUs or cooperation. You mentioned that you were talking with Sri
Yeah,
Lanka.
we sent to several Buddhist institutions in Sri Lanka,
Yeah, please.
but we got only one successful
Okay.
MOU, that is in Kandy.
Can do.
That is the new institution, Pali Buddhist institute or something. I couldn't remember. In Kandy.
There is a very good institution called Walpola Rahula Theros institution in Sri Lanka,
Yes.
and I can that's a very very good one. He is also a contemporary of Venerable Narada.
Yes.
They work together also. Walpola Rahula Thero mostly did his teachings in the West,
Yes.
in France.
His book also was translated into Vietnamese for the
Yes.
last
Yeah.
60 years already.
Yeah.
We have 2 versions of Vietnamese translations.
Right.
Rahula,
Rahula.
also very famous
Very
in Vietnam.
famous, yes. Yeah. He taught very much in French because
Yes.
he studied at Sorbonne and then he stayed in France and then he came and became professor of Buddhism at Kalaniya also.
Yes. And most venerable Dhammaratana is a good friend of me. He's living in Vietnamese temple in France at present.
Yes.
And he's the vice president of Vesak, UN Vesak Celebration Organization.
Yes. Yes. He is a very famous
Yes.
monk in France.
Yes, yes.
Dhammaratana Thero. Yes. Yeah. So we have a lot of connections and we have to make sure that please share with me information about other institutions also.
Yes.
Then we can follow up, or perhaps I can introduce other institutions like Walpola Rahula Institute. It's a very very good one, and head of that institute is teaching at Kalaniya University again.
You see, in 2016, our team coming to Sri Lanka on the invitation of the Ministry of Buddha Sasana. Meeting with them in the Ministry of Buddha Sasana, we also expressed our wish to have the MOU with many, as many as possible. But in fact, we could succeed only one due to the policy of a government or something like that. We could not succeed. So if your kind supporting us available, then please you send one letter to Ministry of Buddha Sasana.
Yeah, I will study
Yes.
this and I have to check what has happened there and what was that policy, and usually
At the time, they inform us that in your country, in order to get the MOU signing with any government institutions, then our institution in Vietnam should be the government approved institutions. As you may know that in Vietnam, the communist governments control everything. So for the Buddhist institutions, our degrees are not recognized by the Ministry of Education.
yes.
And all the Buddhist institutions in Vietnam are under the Ministry of Home Affairs and National Council for Religious Affairs.
Yes.
So that is the main differences. And in order to ask us to get government approved something similar to that, we cannot do that.
Yeah, we have to understand the
Yes.
different systems.
Yeah, the different
Yeah.
system.
And that is where we are here to recommend that.
Yeah,
to
if
people.
you see your statement,
Yeah, I can do
then
that.
they
Yes.
will understand.
Yeah,
Then
that's right. Yes.
the proposal can be signed easily. Otherwise, get stuck in
Yeah.
this regard.
Yes, yes. But now, what is the government? Is it relaxing religious observance here? And
They could not do any regulation so far because now we have already the law on religions and belief, which is effective in the 15th January of 2019.
Right.
So in that law, they also mentioned very clear that the religious education, including Buddhist education in Vietnam, is under the Ministry of Home Affairs rather than Ministry of Education. Our university degrees has been recognized by a lot of university in India
Yeah.
and China, Japan, Korea, America and European countries. But inside the country, you see, our degrees are not recognized by our government due to that differences.
Right.
That policy is very tough for us.
Right. Okay, I understand that, but I will have a look at that. Is a decree or Parliament, National Assembly Act or?
The main reason is that the government leaders could not understand that Buddhist education is different from the Christian education.
Yes.
In Vietnam, the Christian education basically to want the candidate to become the church father. But in Buddhist universities or Buddhist schools of Buddhist studies, differently. So we, you see, educate people to have the degree in Buddhist studies and
Yes,
the
yes.
academic research.
Yeah, that is exactly
Yeah.
the same thing in Sri Lanka.
Yes.
Yeah.
So the government leaders could not understand that, especially the political bureau consisting of 19 important persons who don't understand.
Yeah.
And that's why the policy, you see, very unlucky for us to put Buddhist university under the control of Ministry of Home
Home
Affairs.
Affairs,
They allow us to have the PhD courses just only last year, after you see 35 years of waiting and pending. Just recently, you see PhD courses just allowed last year, and MA courses just was allowed from 2012 only. Earlier they allowed for bachelor degrees. So maybe that is the differences. So if you could clarify it to the Ministry of
Yeah, I can clarify.
Buddha Sasana,
Yeah, that's
then
my
more
duty.
chance maybe.
Yeah, that is my duty to clarify that.
Yes.
Different system and how it
And
governs.
when your clarification sent to them, they may believe
Yeah.
and trust in you rather than in us.
Yes. Yeah, they have to understand that in our case it is coming under Education Ministry,
Yes.
and here it is coming under Home Affairs and.
And
not recognized.
every year we have about 300 to 400 monks and nuns studying in India, Delhi University and some other university.
Yeah, 300 to 400.
Yes, every year,
Right.
monks and nuns. And at present we have only 78 monks and nuns in Sri Lanka. That is the biggest number for the last 25 years.
Yeah.
So that means all the university in India
Yeah.
accept our degree, recognize our degree.
Yeah. Yes. Yes. Delhi University and what are the other main universities?
See, Delhi University, Pune University, Maharashtra University, BHU, Banaras Hindu University in and some others like Gautam Buddha University in Noida.
Yeah.
All the university in India recognize our degrees.
Yeah.
So the first student came to India was Most Venerable Thích Tâm Đức. He is also deputy rector of our university. He came to India in 1991. He was the first who got the scholarship from Indian government. And since then we increased the number coming to India. So this is the biggest year. We have nearly 400 students in India.
From 1991.
Yes, till now.
It has grown up
Continuously.
You continuously
Yes.
grown up to 200, 300 to 400.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a big number.
And at present we have 25 students in Nalanda University, the new one, which under the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Right.
So in the last year, at present there are two universities of Nalanda,
Nalanda.
Nalanda Mahavira,
Yeah, now Nalanda.
and the other is Nalanda University.
Yes.
So for the Nalanda University campus, we have 25 students. And the Minister of External Affairs of India came to Vietnam for this purpose. And the madam of Vice Chancellor, the Vice Chancellor madam came to Vietnam also
Right.
for giving scholarships.
Right.
So this year we have 25 students enrollment in the Nalanda University. I just come from India
Right.
a few weeks ago.
Right. That's a very good place to study in
Yes.
Nalanda.
Yes. But in Sri Lanka is better in terms of Buddhist studies.
Yeah, we still preserve Theravada tradition. Let's see. If we start today, something will happen someday. And
Yes.
start
So
working on
with your
this.
support, I think that more students will come to your country
Yes.
rather than to India. Because in India we could not find out good scholars in Buddhist studies at present.
Yes.
And in Sri Lanka you have a lot of good
Yeah,
scholars.
yes, yes.
A lot of good books on Buddhist studies has been published
Yes.
and printed.
So please send me all the email me all the
Yes, thank
details
you.
and the result.
I will do it.
Start,
With my pleasure.
Working on that.
This year I might own sponsor 35 scholarships to monks and nuns in India. And 10 scholarships to monks and nuns studying in Sri Lanka. So that is my own scholarships
Right.
given to them. And that is the way to have a young generation of Vietnamese monks and nuns to have their higher knowledge in these studies. Yes.
It is a very important area. We should look at.
So on behalf of His Holiness Thích Chi Quảng and University Council, we would like to thanks for your coming, your time, your energy, and your insight of the future cooperation between our university and your embassy. In particular, our Sangha and Sri Lankan Sangha in general. So I do hope that with your kind support, this possible cooperation may be started as soon as possible.
Yes, Venkata sir, thank you very much for seeing me this morning and for your valuable time. By nature, I'm very optimistic and let's start working on these things. And I'm very confident at least we can do few of these things
Thank
soon.
you.
And other things also, all doable things, achievable things. We have to start working on this in a systematic way. And I hope, and I'm very confident my government will support
Thank you,
these
sir.
initiatives because we have identified culture, religion, and people-to-people contacts are very important areas with cooperative in Vietnam. We saw a lot of interest and also increase in this area. So I await your email with our proposals and then we start working on it. And I wish you good health, happiness to continue with your meritorious activities and also your religious activities in Vietnam and also to the entire world.
Thank you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
I would like to invite you for a group photo.
Yes.